World's strongest hustler, King Bubba Billy Johnson. You know how we do it. I know you see that intro. You like, damn. I respect that. I respect my intro. I need to upgrade it. It's been some years. Like that intro is a while, but the reason I keep that intro because that was during like when I first started doing Bang Bang TV, and these were all the artists I got in a matter of weeks. Like I had a brand before that, and before I did that brand, um, I started Bang Bang TV, and I off the gate. Look who I had. Look who I got. Look who's on the intro. Anyway, World's Strongest Hustler, King Bubba Billy Johnson, Bang Bang TV is the brand you watching right now. I be trying to give you the best, the stuff that I can. I feel like I'm in limbo because I think people are not sure like if Bang Bang TV is on the dirty, the nasty, dirty side. Is he on the good side? They don't know. I'm like a anti-hero right now. But I ain't gonna lie to you. Like over here in Bang Bang TV, we about positivity. Like we promote what we promote. You know what I'm saying? We promote what we promote, but we about a lot of positivity over here. Like we definitely like about positive messages and positive stuff. No matter what we share on the bench, like I said, no matter what we share, we're sharing the news. We're sharing whatever's going on in hip hop right now. You know what I mean? Like when you go to my page, you see a lot of Jim Jones, see a lot of 50 Cent, Cameron, because that's what's going on right now. If other things are happening, we would gladly put it on the page. So I don't want people to think I'm just on some New York. And we definitely on New York time though. We are in New York time. I'm not gonna say in front. Like this is my city. I want to make sure because I feel like people be afraid to rep New York. Like if they're scared, like to say like, no, we fuck with everybody else. No, I fuck with New York. Like this is where I'm from. This is what I'm gonna represent. These are the stories I'm gonna tell. These are the rappers I'm gonna talk about. All the way from way back when to now. And of course, everybody else because I mess with the culture, the whole culture of whatever it is, hip hop, whatever you want to call it. I mess with the whole culture. So at the end of the day, um, that's what I fuck with, and that's what I'm gonna represent. So I'm not on the dirty side, but I'm not away from it neither, and I'm near the good side, but I never say nothing crazy. You know what I'm saying? My shit acting crazy. I don't know what the fuck. Come on, this shit. My fault, y'all. We just trying to get because it got the special background. Maybe the lighting. Maybe it's the lighting. Nah. Anyway, World's Strongest Hustler. I'm here today. We came in here. We came in here to YouTube to talk about some stuff. I want to talk about radio history. That's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about radio history. I want to talk about radio history because the New York radio is the reason why I'm doing what I do. New York radio is the reason I know how to do what I do the way I do it. I'm not mimicking radio, but I mean I listened to a lot of radio when I was a kid. Like the 90s was radio. It was a lot of radio in the 90s, Pawn Self. It was a lot of radio in the 90s and the 80s. So I'm gonna try to go back to the 80s as far as I can. The history might be off. OGs are probably gonna correct me and tell me other things and no youngin, you're too wrong. But I'm gonna try to get it as accurate as possible from my memory of radio, how it was lined up and where we're going and what's happening now up to date. So this shouldn't take too long. We should be a little time. We're gonna horse around. Shout out to everybody that's tapped in. Shout out to everybody that messes with me. Shout out to everybody that's just tapping in for the first time and getting on my YouTube and checking out the shows. I try not to do the same old stuff. Everybody's talking about the same stuff. Everybody's talking about the same stuff. So I figure because they talk about the same stuff, coming up with the same old answers, if they're gonna do that, I might as well talk about my culture, the stuff that I love, and give opinions and answers on that instead of talking about the same old stuff. All right. So anyway, let's start it off. This is how we're gonna start it off. Pardon self, y'all. World's Strongest Hustler, Bang Bang TV. We're gonna start it off with this right here. So I'm gonna start it off. We're gonna go into this history here. It all started. It all started for me with radio. It all started with this. It all started with this logo right here. Let's see if we can get it in there. It all started with this logo right here. It started with this logo. Now, for me, I don't know how many years. I can't tell you how many years before. But for the years I can remember, 5, 84. I can't go strong on 3. I can't go strong on 2. I can't go strong on 78. I can't go strong on 79. But when it comes to 84 to 85, I was tapped in. So it started with Kiss FM. 98.7 Kiss FM came before Hot 97. Look, it's only a dial down. So you know there was some changes, right? There was a dial that was 98.7. What is it? 97.1? Hot 97, Hot 97.1. Yes, 97.1. Yeah, 98.7. You go some dials down, now you were Hot 97. Mind you, they weren't out at the same time. And if Hot 97 was out, it was not a hip hop station. I really think it was out, and it was like news radio, like type status. But don't quote me on that. But I feel like they was out. But it started with this fucking light, man. It started with this brand right here, Kiss 98.7 Kiss FM. And as a kid, for me, this brand had a lot of stuff that I really remember. Like you had, if I'm not mistaken, I think Mr. Magic was on here. Red Alert was on here. Sometimes in my mind, I really feel like Wendy was on here, but I don't know if she came in the 85s. I think she came in the 87s, the 8s. I feel like. But I say all that to say everything was on. Hip hop was on here. R&B was definitely on here. They had the Quiet Storm. When I think of Kiss FM, out of all of this stuff, I think of the Quiet Storm. Because after you play all your hip hop, because Kiss used to have some stuff. They used to go to the clubs on Friday nights, and they would record the audio live while they're at the club. You hear people dancing, you hear the music, hear the DJ playing the music, and you hear them walking around, talking to people, asking them questions, shout outs, all that stuff on Kiss. They used to do it that was like Friday, Saturday nights, I think. But that was Friday, Saturday nights. On a regular night, if I'm not mistaken, on a regular night, the Quiet Storm will come on about 10. I'm telling you, don't quote me. Do your homework. I'm freestyling, but I feel like I usually freestyle and be on point. Like 10, 11 o'clock, Quiet Storm will come on. The Quiet Storm, and had the ish 98.7 Kiss FM. And they're just playing smooth stuff all night. I used to go to sleep too. That's why I said I'm not sure how late. It might have been earlier. It might have been like 9. It might have been 8 o'clock. 9 o'clock is a little late. Maybe I went to bed a little late. If it's, you know what I mean? But that station carried on from whatever years into the 90s. But something happened where the station changed. Everybody on Kiss FM ended up going up to Hot 97. Like I said, Wendy was there. I remember that's why I said no Wendy came, and I don't know when she came, but she left. Red Alert left. I really feel like Flex was never. I don't think Flex was ever on Kiss. I think Flex, and I might be wrong. He might have been on there every once in a while, but I doubt it because it was a lot of the old school DJs. You know what I mean? Like I said, Mr. Magic I think was on there, and I don't know if Frankie Crockett was on there. Once again, I don't want to sound crazy because my old Jesus watching and be like, you bugging. I'm not sure if Frankie Crockett was on there earlier before that, but I know Mr. Magic was on there. Cool DJ Red Alert was on there. Marley Marl, if I'm not mistaken, was on there. Marley Marl was on there. I don't know if Eric B was on there. But all the legendary DJ Flash. I think if I'm not mistaken, Flash Flash might have been on there. If I'm blinking in and out, that's that bang bang. We disrupting the airwaves. If I keep blinking in and out. But Flash seemed like he was. I think Flash was there too. I'm saying, don't quote me. I'm telling you, I'm going off of memory. I'm trying to go off my memory. We're going all the way to 80 something, right? Something happened though. Something happened with Kiss is shut down, and a lot of the DJs, a lot of the talking talent ended up going to Hot 97, right? They ended up going to Hot 97. Let me see what's this. Let me go in here. I don't think I got the old Hot 97 joint. I got a lot of stuff in here though. Yeah, let me see. So yeah, you got 1984. You had the Master Mix, Cool DJ Red Alert, 1984. Red, I'm telling you, Red went to. This is how I know Red definitely went to Hot 97. Everybody from Kiss, they were doing such a good job. I'm starting to in my mind really think that Flex was over there at a like Flex was over there with Wendy. I feel like he was over there. I really do. I feel like he was over there with Wendy at the time on Kiss, and then they all transitioned to Hot 97. So now Hot 97 is popping. I think it's like what is it like? We're gonna find out right now. I got it. I'm telling you. We're gonna try to get as much history as we can. Because this is all because of the Hot 97 thing, is why I'm going this far. I'm trying to get to a point, but let me see if because I know I got it. I think this was it. If I'm not mistaken, this is the picture of Ed Lover, Dr. Dre. I think it's Lisa, right? Not Lisa Sleewa, but Lisa. I forgot her name, right? This was the first morning show on Hot. This is the first ever. I don't know who else had morning shows on the radio. I mean, other than probably like the Howard Sterns and all them kind of people. But as far as the hip hop goes, this was one of the first morning shows that was on there. Ed Lover, Dr. Dre, Lisa. I feel like Lisa was I don't want to say Lisa Sleewa because it wasn't Lisa Sleewa. I had a name. And I think it was 1992. I'm telling you, the picture's here. I'm going to find it. I don't know if I got the date. I should have left it with the date. But I think 1992 is the first time that the morning show for Hot 97 ever came on to the radio. I'm telling you, let me just look one more time. So now everybody left from over there. Let me see some. I just want to make sure. Nope, here we go. Got it. I said 1993, November 29th. Hot 97, the first morning show ever. Dr. Dre, Ed Lover, Lisa. Right? Lisa was she was the non-hood one. Dr. Dre and Ed Lover is coming from MTV, right? They coming from MTV, doing their thing over there. So I never got the chance to grow up with them on MTV and watch them on MTV, interview all the dope rappers. I grew up hearing their voices. Mind you, I didn't know what they looked like. It's like I knew the names, but I didn't know I didn't put MTV with Hot 97. You don't it's just like MTV, and it's like Hot 97. You know what I'm saying? Not to be funny, especially at the time. So they had the first morning show. Now their show, to me, was the dopest show. Why I woke up to this show, right? I would go to school, and they would be back on the air somewhere, right? They'd be back. They'd be on the air all morning, like literally, like all morning until like maybe noon. So they come on like at 6 o'clock and be on to like afternoon, 1, 2. And then that's when you start getting your Wendy Williams, you start getting your Angie Martinez's, you start getting your Funk Master Flexes, you start getting your Red Alerts. But this one show right here had so many things in the one show. The one show had so many things going on. So many things. It was crazy. And it makes more sense to me now too, because like I said, they had interviews with Tupac. Remember, right now, Angie Martinez is debating on putting out the interview she did with Tupac back in, was it 90? It was 96 still, maybe it was still 95. Did he catch the rape case or did he get shot? I think he caught the rape case. If I must, I don't think he got shot yet. I can't remember. But whatever the interview was that she did, she's debating on putting it out. Mind you, I got to hear the interview on the radio, but they couldn't play everything, but they played a lot of it, but it must be stuff. Basically, whatever we heard on the radio, if you was around for the time, you got to enjoy and live that up. Um, there's more. And she said he's saying a lot of crazy stuff that she doesn't, she's not sure she wants to play that. Pick any old wounds, whatever the case may be. I think by now it's like that's Pac. Let him talk his mess. Like it's what he was saying back then. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's gonna be like, but for some people it's fresh, it's new, so she doesn't want to do it. But I got to hear that interview on Hot 97. I got to hear Ed Lover interview Tupac as well on Hot 97. I got to hear Biggie Smalls. I heard when Snoop tells the story about Biggie Smalls getting on the radio saying that Death Row was in New York City, then they got their trailers shot at, right? I listened. I heard him say it with my ears. Oh, snap. Yeah, they here? That's crazy. I'm not gonna lie, New York was upset when we after you watched Video Music Box for the afternoon and you just watched Snoop kick the buildings down. You weren't sure how to take it. And then at first it was cool. At first it was like, oh, all right, they just on some taking over the world, but they kicking down like New York buildings. Why they gotta kick down New York? Why they not kicking down like California buildings? Why they kicking our buildings down? So we wasn't sure what was going on. So after a while, you tend to hear like rappers mumble. Because remember, we didn't have social media, so we didn't know when we heard something. The fans would talk about it amongst ourselves. You know what I mean? We'll talk about like, yo, you seen the Snoop video? Yeah, shit was fire. Yeah, shit was dope. Because New York messes. New York really has a lot of love for California. I don't know if they love us the same way. A lot of places New York has love for, but I don't think they love us the same way. I just feel like they don't love us the same way. I just feel like they don't. hmm I feel like sometimes they be upset at us. I don't know about stuff from the past. I don't know about stuff now. I don't know if it's about their experiences with New York people, but I don't think they love us like they used to. But let's go. Let's just keep going. So Hot 97, Dr. Dre, Ed Lover, Lisa, they had dope. They had shows inside. They had shows inside of the show. So they wasn't just the morning show talking and doing interviews like kind of like see how they have segments? Like shout out to Charlemagne the God and DJ Envy and Jess, hilarious. And it's so bad I can't remember the young lady's name that does the dopest reporting. She's fire. She's fire. She be doing the dope reporting. I forgot her name. I can't remember. I don't even want to butcher the name. But they be doing their thing over there. But they have their little segments, like in this show, they have little segments. And I think that if you listen to the show instead of watching it, it's different. Like I've watched them, but then I've listened to the radio and it's like a whole different setup with the radio. They say different things. But they have little segments, like he has the donkey of the day. They have little stuff. These guys had shows within the show. So when I went down south years ago, but when I first went to Atlanta, when I say down south, I'm gonna say Atlanta. When I went to Atlanta, Georgia, when I went to Georgia and I'm listening to the radio, radio is very important in Georgia. They'll tell anybody in the South will tell you radio is very important down there. That lets you know what's going on. That lets you know with them if they. So my brother always explains it like with in Atlanta, if they see it, then that's what it is. If they hear it on the radio, that's what it is. There's no trickery. There's no other what. You know what I mean? Like for instance, somebody in New York get on the radio and they play their record on the radio. You might be like, oh man, that nigga know DJ Wilson. He gonna flip his record or he paid or whatever. It's always some kind of horse around on why somebody might have got on the radio, right? They don't do that in the South. They're on there because they're on there. They're on there because they're hot or whatever the case may be. The record's good or the club's been playing it. We gotta play it. They're on that type of time like we used to be. in New York. We used to be like that. We're not like that anymore. I think we're more. We're not into like, especially like the conversation. Shout out to all the DJs. I can't remember what DJ's page I was on Instagram, and they was having this conversation about DJs breaking records and do they have to break records? And a lot of them was like no. A lot of them was like it's a bonus. A lot of them was like they were saying how Flex did it, but he really didn't break a record. If you really, he did, but he didn't. It's like what Flex did was if we're playing the mixtape, right? We're playing mixtapes, and off the mixtape, there's this one record we're playing by Jay or by whoever, or there's this one record that's crazy, and it's so crazy that Flex gotta play. Now Flex is playing it, so to us it makes it. We're thinking worldwide, but it's really New York City. The whole city gets to hear the record. Everybody that didn't listen to the record, everybody that's not into mixtapes, that might just listen to radio, gets the chance to hear this artist's record that we've been playing all weekend or for 2 weeks or 1 week. Sometimes Flex, that's why I said Flex was kind of breaking them because we know who the artist is and the rest of the world doesn't. So he plays it on his show, brings it back, does all the drops and all that. It made it something. But a lot of the younger guys and a lot of the DJs was like, that was a bonus. That was a plus. And he wasn't really breaking the record because he wasn't taking the record saying, I think this record's hot by myself. Nobody heard this record. It's nobody nowhere. He's playing stuff that we're already playing and saying, oh, that's what's hot. Yeah, that is kind of hot. And then making the world know that the record is hot. That's what Flex was doing. And that they were saying that was a bonus. People don't have to do artists, DJs don't have to do that anymore. They feel like DJs, they're still always needed, they're still popping, but they're not as, I guess it depends on their power because there's people that have power on the radio. They mentioned like Drewski and a couple of other DJs who'll play your stuff. Like you'll meet them, they'll be cool, you figure it out, he'll figure it out, and he'll spin your record one time on the radio, just once. What is one? And they said, what is one spin gonna do for you? What is one spin gonna do for you? Flex, you gotta think about what Flex does. Flex takes the record and stretches it out like good Yola, like good Yelzebub. He takes it and stretches it out. So remember, sometimes he'll play the record. The record might have two verses. It'll be some mixed. It'll be sometimes it'll be really, and he'll play it. He'll play it. He'll talk over it. He'll drop the bombs. He'll bring it back. He'll bring back the part. He'll scratch little stuff. He lets the record go. He's horsing around with the record to make, you know what I'm saying? Play it again. He used to, I remember, I forgot what record he played mad times. I don't know if it was, I know he did Busta Rhymes. He went crazy with put your hands where my eyes could see. But there was some records that he just played. We're going to play it again. He played it all night. I don't remember what record it was. He just kept playing that record all night. Was it Ballin'? It was one of them records. I can't remember which time and year, but he's played some stuff. So let's go fast forward. So like I said, let me go back to where I was going because I don't want to talk your head off about nothing. I'm just trying to I'm giving y'all in and out history of radio and how much I just pay attention a lot, man. Let's go to, let me go right here. Nobody's in the chat. It's all good. Make sure you like and subscribe. I know I'm not talking about the stuff you want to hear. Jim Jones being broke and 50. Something gets, you're not tired. I want to talk about that stuff too. And I'm definitely going to tap into some of that stuff, but you're not tired. I already did one about Jim Jones. I already said, leave him alone. Leave my brother Jomo alone. Why is he bothering you? What is he doing? Why don't you like him? I don't know if it's up here. I think I put it up here. And if it's not up here, I have to load it up. But why niggas don't like, you know what I'm saying? Jomo is crazy. Let me see what's going on here. All right, we're going, shout out to my guy Party G. He's calling me right now. I should put him on the phone and let him say his stuff. Let's go ahead. All right, so we went. Boom. All right, so let's go. So what I had said before, what was I going? Let's go into what I can go into. Let me see how many pictures I got of special stuff. I want to go in. I want to talk my stuff. I don't got a lot of pictures. I don't need a lot of pictures. I got the stories. All right, so they had shows inside of shows. The show, the morning show, Ed Lover, Dr. Dre, Lisa. I really feel like Lisa was like a doctor or something. I think she had some kind of degree, right? This is what made this show so fire. The roll call. I don't know about the roll call. Now, if you are in Atlanta, if you're in Georgia, you know there's some radio shows that have the roll call. I think I don't know if they still do it like they used to, right? And they might be calling it something else. But it started with these three people. I know I can't if there is somebody in 95, 93, like what they said, 93, 93, 94, in them years, whenever they started the roll call, can say we were doing the roll call down here in 80 something or 90 something before them, then come and get me and say what you got to say. But I know for a fact that these people right here, these three people started the roll call. Lisa used to rap. I feel like she was a doctor. I feel like she was some kind of psychiatrist. I feel like she was something. I don't think she was just of on. I think she was something. And the more she was hanging out with them, she was learning. She was hood. She became hood. Lisa was, and I never knew what she looked like. But the show, the roll call, was fire. Here's why the show was fire. Because now, with this thing right here, you're adding the people to what's going on. You're adding the listener to what's going on. And a lot of dope rappers. So let me explain what the roll call was. Let me see if I can even remember it. Let me see. Let me try. I just know it's the roll call. It's the roll call. The roll call. Something like that. I missed some of the words, right? So how it would start, it'll be the roll call, right? It's the roll call. And then Dre will rap. Then Ed will rap. And then Lisa might rap, but she wasn't a rapper. So sometimes I think she wasn't on the show. So after Ed raps, Dre raps, if you're the caller, you get the chance to rap. I think you're supposed to rap about what you're doing. If I remember it correctly, you was rapping about what you were doing. Like, I'm driving in I'm going to work, or I don't want to go to my job. I think it was something like To Those Matters. And you had a couple, I think you got to spit like an 8-bar. Even if it's sometimes you didn't rhyme good and it didn't go, and it'd be some older people, it'd be some bus drivers. They were calling every morning doing the roll call. It's like a dope. That was like something like so epic. Like I said, I'm telling you, when I listen to Atlanta radio, I just noticed that they adopted all the things that New York stopped doing on radio. They've adopted it and kept it going. Even everybody's morning shows, like their morning show was crazy. It wasn't out of line, or it wasn't no shock jock stuff. It was all hip hop. But Ed Love and Dr. Dre, they're funny. So they was talking about a lot of subjects, a lot of things that even me as a kid or as a teenager, I can listen to. It's not like cover your ears. It was like everybody can relate to what they're talking about. And it was mostly about the culture. It was a lot of stuff. It was so much stuff. They had the roll call. They had the interviews. It was another rap joint that they did. I didn't find it. It was another one that they did. They did the roll call and something else that had to do with having the fans come in and rap. Or was it because so when you rewind, let me rewind back. Early Hot 97. Early Hot 97 I didn't get all the pictures. They had the Furious Five, right? So Melly Mel had a show where he let you rap. They'll rap, and they were nice. They was nice. Yo, I can't even lie. This is probably like 1993 to 4, maybe 2. I feel like no, it was around the same time. I think whenever Ed and them started. So Ed Lover, Dr. Dre, right? They'll be on in the mornings, right? When you get to like, I think it's the 5 o'clock jam, the 6 o'clock, that kind of shit. Flex was on, but then no. Let me say it correctly. Let me make sure I got it right. The 5 o'clock jam was. Ooh, I'm gonna mess y'all up. At 5 o'clock, you get Angie Martinez, or let me make sure I'm saying it correctly because you'll get red alert, right? This is what made the show dope. You get red alert for his hour, right? And then Angie will come on because he announced it. Angie! You know, red alert always come up with something. Angie! He made a pop. And then she get up, she had a dope voice, and she talk about the stuff she talk about, and her and Red would go back and forth, and she was mad cool. Red Alert ushered her in. That's how I felt. I mean, she might say somebody else. I felt like her and Red Alert, they had a good chemistry. They sounded great. Angie talked about good stuff. You always agreed to it. Her voice was dope. And I think Red stayed on because it was her show, but Red stayed on as a DJ, right? Then you had Flex wasn't. I'm telling you, there was some years when Flex got on Hot 97, it was a big thing. It wasn't like Flex was there. When Flex came to Hot 97, I remember it was a big thing when Flex got there. That's why when he doing what he's doing, he was there. Like he got there. He was a big pause. It was really respected that he was on there. Or Hot 97. But it was Angie and Flex. I mean Angie and Red Alert, pardon self. Angie and Red Alert. Then you had, I feel like I'm skipping a show, but somewhere in that time frame, I feel like I'm skipping the show. But then I'm down. But then nope, because Flex wasn't there. Because remember, look at the time slots that they had long time slots too. They was rocking for a minute. Like they had really long time slots because there wasn't a lot of them, and they was still a new station, but they had long time slots. For my upstate people, it's like jams. You know what I mean? You had the DJs, you got the special. Say it was the same thing, especially it was new. Um, so that's when Wendy steps in, right? By the time we pass the traffic jam, moms and everybody's home from work. You know what I'm saying? Wendy's on. You know what I mean? Um, and that's when it gets raunchy. Not that Reggie was talking about like anything sexual or nothing. She was talking that she was saying stuff. She was the gossip queen. She told y'all what she was doing. That was dead. She was dead serious. She was the gossip queen. Her and my guy DJ Skeletor. I don't know what he looks like. I never got to see him part himself. What Skeletor looked like. But it was her and DJ Skeletor. They had their show. Her show was she talked about some good stuff, man. She just didn't horse around. She didn't horse around. She was trying to, do what she does. And she did that job very well for a lot of years. You know what I'm saying? I always tell this story about my hot nutty because I'm supposed to have these stories. My hip hop stories are coming. I'm gonna add it to the segment. Pardon me, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm gonna add my hip hop stories to the segment of rappers I met. It's gonna just be right during the show. I was gonna do something separately, and I'm just gonna take the picture, put it right here, and tell my stories. Anyway, so um, Wendy. Let's see if I got something with Wendy. Let's put Wendy up here. We talking about Wendy. I'm trying to give you a good story with the pictures and all that. I told you I didn't get a lot of pictures. Did I get Wendy? I don't think I got Wendy. Did I get Wendy? World's Strongest Hustler once again, Bang TV, man. If you tapped in, I appreciate y'all for tapping in. If you're not tapped in, it's all good. You missing it. I just don't listen. This is all my thing. Motherfuckers are gonna watch me and shadow watch me, but then steal my ideas and go over there because my numbers ain't crazy. I keep doing that. You see how long it's gonna last you. You know what I'm saying? Corny ass niggas. That's why I have to go another way. I had to choose a lane that makes sense for me. So I'm choosing the culture lane. I don't know what to call it, but I'm choosing a lane where I like everybody. I'm not friends with everybody, but I don't have no shitty stories. I'm not gonna talk crazy about stuff that don't make sense. I don't know people. That part. All weekend talking about that man. And niggas still talking about that man, pardon self. Like this, I got stuff in here I could talk about that I've been holding off on talking about because I'm trying to respect my peers the best way I can without, and even if they're not my peers and I don't know them, I don't want to start nothing crazy. I don't think I could find what I was looking for. Yeah, I was trying to find some stuff here, but I don't see it. I could have swore I got something with my girl, but I didn't. Anyway, Wendy Williams. We're going back to Wendy Williams. So Wendy Williams would come on Skeletor. They would talk they mess. I listened the day. So when Jaguar Wright was telling the story about Diddy, right? Um, and I always tell this story. This is a true story, right? Let me take this off of here, right? Um, right. Jaguar Wright tells the story about she tells the story about Diddy. You know, somebody walk. She didn't say she did, but somebody walked into the office and seen him getting some stuff done to him by a man. Pause. That's what she said happened, right? I heard that on the radio. Now I don't think it was Jaguar Wright who was telling the story at the time, but I heard it with my ears on Wendy Williams' show because Wendy Williams was looking for the gay rapper at this time. Pardon me, no disrespect to anybody of any sexual preference or whatever the case may be. I want to respect everybody, but this is what was happening in the '90s. She was looking for the gay rapper. She felt like there were gay rappers or there was a gay rapper in the rap game in the '90s, and that's why she made a lot of enemies because she was calling out a lot of people and saying that she think they might be the gay rapper. And you know what? You ready? What I learned. I was telling this story before, and you know what I learned? Wendy was one of the reasons that pause is in effect today. That pause is in effect, and why a lot of rappers now, and it's messed. If you don't play the pause game when you're like, I don't play the. I'm an artist as well. I don't play the pause. I try my best not to think about pause stuff when I'm writing, because it throws you off. You might be able to say something crazy and it's dope, and then you can't say it because it sounds like some of something else to somebody, and then people get mad. Why you thinking this? It's a lot. I know, but Wendy's reasoning for saying rappers were um of another, something else and hiding it was because of some of the things that they say in their raps. She said a lot of people, Redman, Pudgy. She said, shout out to Pudgy, the fat bastard. That's his name. Pudgy the fat bastard. She said, um, she was just going. She was naming so many people, but she didn't have facts. And that's what made it whack. She didn't have the facts, but she was saying, she just was calling out names, and it made you. And sometimes it made you think. Like Redman, she threw me off with the Redman one. That's my guy. But she was like the skits. She went in like the skits and the rhymes, and he be saying this, a lot of this. He be talking about a lot of that, and I'm like, damn, it's like a lot of Paul. And it was a lot of when you think about it, it was a lot of pause. It's like she was talking as if she didn't have the words yet. Pause. I don't remember there was anything, but she was kind of like starting that. But going back to what else I was saying, so she's looking for the rapper who she thought was a different sexual preference. Is that the right way to say it without? Because I know we can't say certain words. So I don't think gay is bad, right? Are we not allowed to really say gay? If that's what it is, right? The LBGT, right? Isn't it lesbians, gays? Yeah, I could say that. You can't say it crazy. I can't say the other words. No F words. You can't do that. But gay is proper, I think. That's what they said. So she's looking for the gay rapper. And then um the story about Diddy came. I remember it. I was in my room. I was in my room. I was still at my mama house. I was like 13, 12. Let me see. No. 9-5.
if it was 9-5, 9-4 to 9-5, I was anywhere between 14 and 15. I was like 15. I was scared to say 15, but you gotta remember 15 as a kid. 15 back in the day to us was like, 15. You wasn't outside? I was outside like I was outside. I was prepping myself to be outside. 15. But anyway, 15 years old. Um, and I'm in my room and I'm listening to this lady who called. I remember it like I was in my room looking out my window, and I sat down at my desk, and this lady told the story about her working at the story that I heard with my ears was that she worked at Bad Boy. She walked into his office and she saw him getting uh handled out, pause, right, by another gentleman, pause. I don't know if I'm just gonna pause anyway. And she said she saw it. Oh, right. I think they didn't stop was the thing. And she turned around and she walked out the building and she said she never came back. Um I'm trying to remember if she said she came back eventually and then didn't go back. I can't remember. I feel like she said she never came back. I feel like there wasn't nothing else to the story. When Jaguar tells the story, she said it was a lawyer or something, and that she came in, she saw it, and it was supposed to be a particular R&B artist who's like, "You are crazy! Stop playing with me." I'm not even gonna say the brother niggas. I don't want to keep mixing them up, and y'all might be new fans to my page and just never heard any of these stories at all. So yeah, learn this. I don't even want to add the gentleman's name because but if you look around, it's the stories are up there, and they were saying it was this guy for a long time. They were saying it was this guy that was in that situation. Um, what makes it crazy is the story. When Jaguar told the story, it was exactly how I heard it. The person was I wasn't sure about because I remember them clearly saying they worked at Bad Boy. Walked in, seen it, walked out the building, never went back in the building, didn't even get visible. I feel like they might have said like I talked to him and then he was like he said something about it or whatever, but I feel like they said they didn't go back into that building and they didn't speak about it until the day they were on the radio with all of us listening. That was the last time. So that's what, and then once that happened, Wendy kept pushing, right? Well, this I'm telling truth. I think about now because I know Wendy wasn't allowed to tell her story, and maybe eventually she's gonna tell she's in a crazy position right now, so I'm not sure if they're gonna listen to her. I'm not sure what's gonna happen, but I tell it because I should have put the fan stuff in the background. That's my other show, but I remember I got a real good memory like an elephant. I might not remember yesterday, might not remember a couple of things, but my music and my hip hop history and the things I went through as being a fan and becoming an artist, I remember very clearly. And I remember, so Wendy was digging, and this is if you can once again, I'm gonna tell this story, and then somebody get to Wendy Williams and say, "This dude, I don't know who this dude was. Let me go get something to drink. I don't know who this dude was, right? Go out of there. All right, my fault, y'all. I don't know who this dude was. Some dude, little Wayne looking kind of guy. He was talking about something about here. I'm telling the story again. So she was digging right into the situation with Diddy. She was finding out stuff. She was talking about it on the radio. And it's matter of fact, it's in her movie. It's in her movie. But I'm telling you, she changed it up because she didn't want problems with. Here we go. She changed it up because she didn't want problems with Diddy anymore, right? But here's what ended up happening. Wendy's gonna do Wendy. This was when Wendy was, she had some power over the city. She by the time she got here, she already done beef with TLC. Everybody didn't like her, but she was interested. Look, she had Whitney talk to her crazy. Y'all forgot she did an interview with Whitney Houston and asked Whitney if he smoked butter. Remember? God bless the dead. Wendy. Wendy got the first exclusive, and then Barbara got the second one. Wendy was a big deal. So when Wendy's on the radio saying, "Yo, I'm hearing this," she was saying little stuff about Diddy. Here's what was going on, because I could tell the story. I'm not signing nobody. I'm not loyal to nothing. I'm telling you as a fan, and these things were right in front of our faces when it was happening. Right? Wendy Williams got fired because they told her to leave him alone. Why we want you to leave him alone out of all the people? Because this man is paying us a big check to play. And this is, if I'm lying, someone stop me. They know. Flex knows. Shout out to Flex. A lot of them know. They say they didn't take payola. This is think about it. Ready? I'm gonna put y'all in. I'm gonna just mess y'all up a little bit, but I'm just trying to keep it real from both sides of business, right? He's not a mobster. He's not a drug dealer, right? He's a businessman. He owns a company with artists, right? So he wants to give us a check, right? And with this money that he gives us, he wants us to make sure from the time Ed Lover comes on and goes off, he at least plays 3 to 4 records of bad boy stuff. And then when who I say comes on after that, when Red Alert comes on later on in the day, there was somebody that was after. I swear to God, there was somebody else that was after Dr. Dre and Ed Lover when they went off. It was somebody else. I'm leaving now, and I'm sorry if I'm leaving y'all out. I probably was in school, but I know who y'all was. But I probably was in school. I can't remember who was there. It was somebody that was like right after them that hung out for a little while, and then by the time, you know what I mean, I can't remember. But to fast forward, like I said, Ed Lover them goes off. They're playing Bad Boy. They talking about Biggie anyway. Everything's Bad Boy. At least 4 records. When y'all slot is over and whoever else comes on, they gotta play at least, pardon self, they gotta play at least 2 records. I dropped my phone. Good shit. They gotta play at least 2 records. And so on and so on and so forth. I'm giving you this check to play Bad Boy records in all of y'all segments all through this radio. And I don't care how you play him. I don't care who you play. Just that's why I said Bad Boy. So play 112, play Mace. My Mace wasn't there at the time. Play 112, play Total. Play Biggie, of course. And just keep playing the records that's out. Play them, play them, play them, play them. So he's giving them a big check. We still kind of new. We lit. We are lit. Our radio company is lit. But we knew. And I don't think this is bad to take this check from this guy, because once again, it's not a street guy. It's like we're taking a check from Gotti. This is a music guy who has a legit company with legit music that we are playing, but he just wants to skip the line for everybody else and not even skip the line. Look how he did it. Like I said, we don't care who you play. Play everybody. Play the new guy. Just make sure before you guys go off of your segment, you played at least 1 to 2 Bad Boy, because some people had short segments. So you at least play 2 records from Bad Boy before you get up off the station. I don't even care if you go back. I don't care if you play Warning and all the early Biggie stuff. Bad Boy. And that's very smart. It was super smart. So it goes back to what I was saying with Wendy. I know I'm dragging this out, but we gotta get going too. And I gotta fast forward and get into the new stuff. But to fast forward, I'm trying to give you the history as much as I can. This is no bullshit. Somebody's gonna steal my idea. I always say this. Someone's shout out to Doggy Diamonds. Shout out to everybody on the dirty side. Like I said before, shout out to guys, the Jada Kisses, everybody doing the podcast. Shout out to all of y'all. Shout out to my guys on Casa. Try to shout out to everybody. Then I start seeing stuff. I was shouting out people and I start seeing stuff, and I'm like, I don't like that shit. I don't like it. I'm put my, I don't like that stuff. I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm in my second childhood shit. I don't like it. I don't like that stuff. I don't like it. I don't like it. I be trying to shout certain niggas, then you watch some footage, you like, word, he did that, like. Then you don't know what to believe. I don't like it. I'm good. I'm gonna play. I like playing anti-hero. I want to talk smack about somebody. There's certain people I will talk smack about, or certain situations. I think I've said my situations about Diddy. When it came to that, I did it in a different way. Jones, I do things in a different way where it makes more sense. It's not attacking, it's more questioning the fans and the people on stuff. After I say it, you come up with what you want to come up with. Let's keep going though. So once again, big check. Hot 97, new station. We're doing great, but now we're doing amazing with this big check coming every month or whatever he's doing for us just to play Bad Boy records. Great. And doing it like that where it's not cheating anybody out of their slots or whatever. Good. Even though the time with Big L, that was kind of messed up. I always say that was kind of messed up. That's another story. That's well, you know what? It is a part of the radio history, so it's not another story. It can go in this story here. Let me just finish this one, and I'm gonna take you there to that situation. So, like I said, big check, young man, a lot of artists, bad boy, play my stuff. Wendy Williams says, I'm gonna continue to harass him. And then she got fired. And then she couldn't get on back on the radio. She couldn't get back on. Remember he had by now he got his foot on the neck. Foot on their neck. Foot. Kicks. Stuff you know what he does. He's doing that to the music game at the time. I'm sorry. Wait, I gotta do my shit for that one. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's all. I'm just horsing around. So, but he was definitely running New York. He had his pulse on the game. He changed the music game. He had all the music, everything you wanted, rap, R&B. He had it all. He had the game on lock in New York. Fired her. She couldn't get back on the radio. She was doing mixtapes. He had to do it. It's messed up, right? Listen, this is why I don't know if this is where he learned his power at when that happened. I don't know where he learned his power, like Diddy, to find out how you see what happened with him, right? I don't know if that showed him how powerful he was. That might have just been a cut because there was other things before that. That showed his power. He got her fired. She was out of there, and she was doing mixtapes, trying to talk about it. But we're not used to Wendy Williams doing a mixtape. It didn't make sense. It was dope because some of the fans that rocked with her, like all them real fans she be having that love her, they followed her. Some people really know the journey. Some people really know the story if they really followed her all the way to where she ends up at. Because if you like somebody, you're gonna follow them as a fan. So people knew the real story. That's why in the movie she didn't say his name because he's still active. Now she probably take the chance, but he had his foot on her neck. She couldn't get on radio at all. She ended up going down south. You see the story. Whatever story, if you watch the Wendy Williams story, all of that is true. The only thing she left out was that it was Diddy that got her fired and why it got her. You know what I mean? She left a lot of that out. That was a nice chunk, but I'm telling you, that's what it was. Because she was doing, listen, I remember it. I'm going to take you to it a little bit. I'm going to a little bit. Fired, mixtapes, radio down south. started doing stuff down south. Um, and then she was doing the stuff with Charlamagne. She was still making noise. She was still doing stuff. People wanted to hear her, but they only got to see her. It's when cameras start coming in and they got to see her do the radio stuff. Unless we was in her, in those areas, you couldn't hear her. So with that being said, she worked her way back into the circuit of New York and getting seen. She was doing little stuff here. She was doing stuff here. Remember, she did what got her popping. She did the interview with Brigitte Nielsen. That's Rocky's ex-wife, Sylvester Stallone's ex-wife. She's the tall lady from, if you ever seen Beverly Hills Cop 3, no 2. And she's Red Sonia. What else she's in? Those are the main ones. Red Sonia is what got her on. And Beverly Hills Cop 2. And she's Sylvester Stallone's wife. She used to be Arnold's girlfriend. There's a lot of stuff with that. So she did an interview with Brigitte Nielsen. Brigitte's trying to kiss her. It was just live. It was crazy. People was bugging. Wendy held herself down. She made it work. She girl. But it was a good, funny interview. We was happy to see Wendy. And I'm telling you, the day she was doing something, I don't remember what she was doing, but Diddy walked up on her. And it was kind of weird energy because I was like, oh, I remember seeing it. Oh. And then they fixed it right there on camera. They fixed it. Next thing you know, Wendy got the show. Wendy's back over here. Wendy's back. Wendy's back. Wendy's back. I swear. Look, he was on the show and everything, right? Wendy's back. Because they fixed it he walked up on the joint, he fixed it. They fixed it because they know she could tell that story. But he was such the man by the time. Look how many years had passed by then. Fixed it. Now she's back. Big show. Got him on there. All kinds of, right? Okay. All right. Okay. Anyway, let's go back. So you had Wendy with her show. You had that. You had So go back. Let's go back. So I said earlier, the Furious 5 had a show. Lisa Sliwa on the news right now on the New York City. I just saw something with her doing New York City news. She used to have a show on Hot 97. It was called Street Soldiers. And her husband, Sliwa, Mr. Sliwa, I forgot his name that fast. Because he was the head of the Guardian Angels. So they had a show called, like I said, Street Soldiers. And it was talking about a lot of stuff. Mob stuff. He said he was talking about, if you watch, he was on Math Hoffa's show. Math Hoffa came back and he had, what is his name? Edgar Sweetwood. I'm bugging. But we're gonna get his name right now while we sitting right here. That's crazy. I can't get nobody's live, so I can't really see comments for nobody say what's his name, if anything. Nobody's popping in, so it's all good though. We're gonna find out his name. That's what. No, I know how to do it. Right? I'm gonna find her right now. World's Strongest Hustler, man, baby. Like and subscribe, man. Listen, all this story stuff, man. I'm telling dope stories, man. Like and subscribe. Listen, I'm from the South Bronx. I grew up there. I was outside a lot. I've been around a lot of guys before they were rappers. I've been around guys who were rappers. I just used to be outside around a lot of stuff and a lot of people. I didn't know. Sometimes I didn't know who they were. I didn't know who they were going to become. I wasn't looking for that. All right, at least there we go. Curtis Slewa. Curtis. Y'all know who Curtis Slewa is. He's the guy that got the Guardian Angel stuff. They used to do the Guardian Angels thing. The Guardian Angels used to do some stuff. In the 80s, they was holding it down. But they had a show called Street Soldiers. The Furious 5 show was dang. Their show used to let you get on there and rap with them. So they be going crazy. Woo, Melly. I think it was, I want to say Kaz was on that show. I know it was Melly. I think it was the Furious 5 because Kaz not really with them. Kaz not with the Furious 5. He with the Treacherous 3. So if I'm saying it right, I feel like now it was Melly Mel in them. They had, I know it was definitely Melly Mel, and they had a show that let you rap over a beat Can you hear the beat? Yeah, I can hear the beat. And they let you rap over the phone over a beat that they're playing and see what you got. Or there was a lot of that was a dope show. That show was a Sunday nights. This all Sunday night stuff. You had that. You had that. Who else used to play? Um, damn, I can't remember. It was somebody that was who was it? What DJ was it? He used to be playing some stuff on Sunday. Like he played the exclusives. But then you had I don't know if I'm saying the time. I'm just this just popped in my mind. I don't know if it was around the same time. But then you had um stretching Bobito. You know, they show was they used to have that's all that freestyle stuff. I heard all of it. I used to listen to all of that stuff. I'm in my crib, bro. I'm young at that time. You know what I'm saying? I'm not running around in the streets outside like that. My mom's got me in the crib. So all I did was listen to radio and watch television and watch hip hop and listen to hip hop all day. So they had a show. Um, I feel like I'm missing. Somebody used to have a dope hip hop mix show. They used to be playing the dopest. I don't know. Don't think it was Flex, man. I don't want to say it was Flex. It might have been, but I don't want to say it was Flex. It was somebody else. They used to just go in. All right, we had an hour. We're not gonna go stay too long. I got to move forward. All right, so we had all them dope shows. I don't want to not. I want to. I don't even want to leave y'all empty with nothing. Like they had a lot of dope shows back then. That involved the people, right? That the people were involved in these shows. Even with the street talk, the street soldiers thing, you could call up and say stuff, and it was a lot of good topics that was real deep and dope. Like I learned a lot by listening to that show. So you were getting the education, so it wasn't just rap, 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 rap. It was different. It was so many good topics from different segments of that. What else was it? So it was that Street Soldiers, the Furious Five. Like I said, I think with the rap show, it was some kind of other mix show, man. That was fire. Um, and that would be a Sunday night before you go to school, and in the morning you waking up to Hot 97 in the morning. You listen to the morning show. Fire stuff. So as the years go through, people, the Ed Lovers is gone, right? Angie's still there. No more Lisa because you don't know about these people anymore. No more Red Alert. Um, yeah, I end up left with Angie, Flex, um, enough new morning show people that I don't I forgot who was the last. Who was the? I don't even remember. I don't even remember the morning show people before Ebro in there. Who was before Ebro in there? Somebody let me know in the comments. I don't remember who was before Ebro in there. I don't remember. I don't remember. Who was before that? I don't remember. I don't remember anything after Ed Lover and them. I don't. I don't. I'm really. I don't remember. I'm sorry. That's why the blockage of the mind. I don't remember. I really don't. But I just know the music was dope. They were playing Dipset. They were playing dudes from the streets. There was a time it was getting crazy. It was a lot of street stuff. High 97 was playing a lot of street stuff, letting guys come up there free. It wasn't letting any old body come up there and freestyle like that, though, neither. You know, that was the only thing about Hot 97. You had to be a part of something. Like they try the same rules when I'm at upstate New York. Like it had to come from a label. So you had to be a part of something that was already going to let you up there. So if you did, so like if I was a rapper in the streets and then I meet Cameron, he felt like I was fire, then that was my opportunity to go up there. But there's not just that's why a lot of people hung out outside of the joint. They were trying to get in, but you had to be a part of somebody, connected with somebody to be able to get into that building and be able to drop lyrics or spit your song or have your song or whatever the case may be. So I kind of brought you forward, backwards, man. I brought you the flex dropping the bombs already and all that, and we see where we ended up at, where we're at, and where we're at now. So here's where I could get a little. Here's where I'm gonna get a little funky on y'all a little bit. Here's where I start acting a little crazy. Here's where I start popping a little mess. Here's where I start popping a little mess here. So I really supposed to went into some other shit, no, but I'm saving that. So Let's go here. Boom. Ebro, right? I don't know what this. I don't know if I'm. I don't know if I. Ebro was an enemy to hip hop. He shunned a lot of rappers that came on his show, and a lot of them never got the airtime because Ebro would say they not big enough. This guy says, "F Ebro, glad the show is gone. Hey, old man Ebro, whatever. Good riddance." Right? This is put up there by I got this one from Underground Hip Hop and Rap Music Culture. Shout out to them. You know, I got that from them. Even they might got somewhere else, whatever. But this is when Ebro was fired from the morning show, right? Here's my thoughts on Ebro and the morning show. And they're like, who are you? I'm a fan. When people say that, I'm not gonna lie. Some of y'all sound corny. Yo, who is you to take the? I mean, like I said, you got people that just be talking and chatting. Yes, you do. But don't shun the dudes that really do the homework, that really was in there for hip hop, like y'all was in there for hip hop, that grew up. We older now. Y'all old and we're older. So now us older ones, the ones that's really know what's going on, we can give you the report because we paid attention. And some people pay attention in school and some people didn't. A lot of us did. Now I know a lot of people be winging it, come up with stories and just winging and saying stuff, and they don't be having no information. Them dudes be. I'm a little older. So, you got the young when you say young, sometimes even the 30-year-olds, the 36s and the 8s, they didn't get to see a lot. They was young for the things that they were little guys, pause. They were younger people, pause. I was older. So they got to hear about a lot of stuff and they got to be around it. Only if they paid attention to it correctly, then they can give the right story. So I know sometimes that be throwing it off, but I say all that to say this. So Ebro comes in, right? And I didn't really know who Ebro was when he came in there. What threw me of recent was that Ebro was from the West Coast, right? Now I don't really understand that. Like you have somebody from the West Coast come in to our New York culture and dictate what's what is I don't think that was cool. I think we should have definitely not did that. The the Ebro when I started not so the West Coast thing threw me off already, right? That was one. Two, when he started telling 50 cents that he destroyed New York hip hop, it was like, and he kept saying it. And it was like 50 was getting mad. He would get mad at always that one scratched 50 a little bit. You see him he get a little razzle dazzle, but he don't get like yo. He does it because he's intelligent and he knows how to talk. But then they're shutting him off on what he's trying to say, and they're not hearing his message. So he was getting upset about it, but not really showing it. But Ebro kept attacking him about him destroying New York hip hop and dividing it. And nah, that's not what happened. That's not the truth. You know what I'm saying? That's not the truth. Then when the Griselda music came, right? When the Griselda stuff came in, hold on, yeah. My fault. Hold on. When the Griselda stuff came in, my fault. You had to get some drink. We about to get out of here. The Griselda stuff came in. He said he didn't like the loop beats. He didn't like the loopless, drumless beats. He didn't like the sound. He wasn't rocking with it. This is not it. Yada yada yada. I remember I went to New York. 'Cause like I said, so now I'm from the Bronx, of course. Like I told you, I always go home. And going back and forth, when I get to the city, of course, the first thing I want to hear is Hot 97. What's going on in Hot 97? Let me see what they're talking about. What's going on? What they playing, right? So one trip I went down and they were playing Kiss. They were playing everybody one night. I was like, they back in their bag. Because I feel like I go through the times that I've gone back and forth to the city, listen to the radio. I wasn't getting the same vibe. Mind you, got Power 105, so people are going back and forth listening to that. And sometimes they play some stuff too. Sometimes. Not as much as Hot 97. Hot 97, they start going back in the bag. Kiss one night, and they going in the bag, right? I go down a few more times, and I just remember the summer where they just start. All they played was literally. I counted it. I counted it, and then I said, "What are they doing?" They played five. I go down here. Five records. Five records. Drake. Um, they played the Drake and what's his name? I think it was. It was it Fabio. What's that record Drake had? I think it was Drake and Fabio. They played Drake and Fabio. They played. I think it was Ice Spice at the time. Oh man, I gotta go in my book. I wrote this down. Pardon yourself, yeah. I wrote this down. They played five records, and they played them every hour on the hour. I think it was Drake, Ice Spice. Damn, bro. Was it Nicki and Cardi? They both had records out. Something like that, bro. It was the same five, or they literally played five records, five, all day long. I listened. I said, "Yo," I said, "They do it again. I'm a count. I counted. I sat. Shout out to my guy Party G. I sat in we was in the Bronx. Was sitting somewhere, and I'm like, yo, bro, it's the same five records. And then as we're going, if we're riding around, it's the same five exact records. Why y'all doing this? Where's the other? Why y'all not gonna play nothing else? Y'all serious right now? Radio is whack down here. That was my last thought when I got to the radio. Whack down here. This is just whack. It's over. I don't know what's going on. Drake and it wasn't even Mad Drill records. It's just Drake and um I think it was Drake, Tory, Nicki, Cardi, or Drake, Tory, Migos. It was something like that, or Drake, Megan. It might have been Megan. It might have been Drake, Fabio, Megan, Tory, and somebody. I'm telling you, bro. And I was like, I was so done with the. I was like, yo, this is ridiculous, fam. What's going on? Like, radio's whack, and I didn't know Ebro was like. Then you had Summer Jam. Summer Jam. I mean, Summer Jam kind of stayed the same. You know, they let them get crazy on Summer Jam. You know, a lot of stuff happened with us Summer Jam. Summer Jam, but they was cutting the time out. They was cutting the time short. I think no. There was problems at Summer Jam. So for us as the fans, they brought up the good acts, and the acts brought in good acts. But the actual timing and whatever was going on, they said it was a lot of horseplay on Ebro's part. So for me, my dislike is the fact that when the new music came in, the Griselda stuff came in, and he really took a crap on their music and was basically saying that's not it. Like this is not the sound, and this is where New York is going. Everybody else is rocking, you not rocking. You know what I mean? So we like he's hating. We not messing with this dude. I was all set. And then look what happens now. Look what happens. All right, so we ain't gonna stay on too long. So look, right? So look what happens. Right? So we gonna go ahead now. So now what happens? What fast forward, right? Let me see if I got anything else before I go there. Oh, I was supposed to go to that. I'm gonna go back to that and then we gonna ride out. So look, right? Fast forward. Pop! The Kid Mero takes over mornings after Ebro exits New York radio. Just got a major shakeup. So we got Mero. So Mero had a show with his man. And I feel like I know both of these guys from the Bronx. I swear to God, if I don't know Mero, I definitely know his partner. That was my guy from the Bronx. I remember him clearly from the Bronx. And he ended up taking over. He ended up taking over. He ended up being he ended up taking Ebro's spot, which is fire. I think I forgot how old Mero is, but I think he's old enough to if he's like me and he paid attention to hip hop and how Hot 97 used to be, how stuff was, I think he'll help usher it back and put it where it needs to be up to date. I think that they put some more younger people in there. So I don't think the thing is put younger people. I think just put more people that's knowledgeable of the culture of hip hop back and forth. Because I'm one of those kids, you know what I mean? And I'm grown, but I'm just saying I'm one of those kids that paid attention to it from the beginning to where it's at. So you got to put knowledgeable people. Don't just put people because they're young. Don't just put people on there because they got they're tech savvy and or they could talk good. Let them know some stuff. Let them come in with full knowledge, and then it will help the radio work. And then I think they'll be able to um accommodate everyone that needs to be accommodated, like Hot 97 used to do. It's accommodate everybody, old school, new school. They had it. They had the old school hour. Remember they had? I remember that. I can't remember who was. I think that was Red. Don't get me twisted again. They had old school. I need to bring back the stuff that made Hot 97 fire. That made New York radio pop. Bring back some of those things. The roll calls. Bring back some of the good stuff. So don't just hire these young people because they have online presence or people hire them because they know. And I think Mero, when I listened to him talk, I think he brought back too some about the graffiti artists. He went to go back to shouting out all the graffiti artists from way back. I said, this guy knows what he's doing. He's from the Bronx. We know we are from home. It's embedded. It's in our DNA to know the history. I'm sorry, I don't know what happens, but it's in our DNA. Spanish, black, Chinese. I don't care if he's born in the Bronx. If he's born here, something in the DNA gets weird. We get real hip hop. We get hip hopish. All right, listen. I think I have one more pitch, and I think I'm about to be out, though. You know what I'm saying? But we talked a lot, man. That was fire, right? If y'all didn't, like I said, man, listen. Just tap in. Let me go back here. Let's go. Let me see what happened. Look, they didn't even they did this. They did this. Look, this is fire, right? Look at that. New mayor of mornings. That's right, Mero. That's right. Right. I mean, like I said before, I think it's unfair. I don't know. Do they do that? Do they do the same thing? And I'm not sure. I really feel like no. I feel like down south or Georgia, or wherever, or even any southern radio, I think I don't know if what I think what happens is what will happen is like what I'm about to say is I don't think they hire anybody like actually from New York. I might be wrong. Somebody tap in and be like, nah, bump. They got somebody in Atlanta. He's from New York officially, and he does not listen to what I'm about to say. I'm about to mess you up. Not someone from New York or been to New York that has a show and they still live in New York or something or some kind of setup or whatever, and the show is connected to the station, but he doesn't really live in that kind of stuff. And I think what happens is to be a lot of guys that probably were from New York when they were kids and they live now in the state of wherever they at, Georgia or wherever, and now they do radio. So they have some knowledge, they know some things, they heard some stuff, and they have a good enough mindset to go do radio. You know what I mean? But I don't think they have anyone actually come down and like I'm from New York and this is I don't think they have that anywhere. So like I don't even think they have that in it. I definitely don't think they have that in California. Like I don't know if they have like a New York DJ who's a New York DJ like on the air doing stuff. I don't know. If I'm wrong, put it in the comments. If I'm wrong after the show, you put it in the comments. You say, "Bump, nah, this New York guy. He's in Cali. He does this. He's from New York. Actually, from New York." Like, put it in the comments. But I think everybody hires where people are from that's knowledgeable of where they're from. So to hire someone from California, and no disrespect to California, of course, like I said, we got love, but we need somebody from New York. Like you had a better chance of letting Rosenberg leave. Rosenberg is very knowledgeable of hip hop. He couldn't spin no records, but he knows what he's talking about. The knowledge that he had, he knew what he was talking about. Why didn't give it to Rosenberg? Is Rosenberg completely is he out? Like is he out of did he been left? Like did he been left? But has he been left? Hot 97, he's really like doing wrestling and other things on his I think he's on a whole nother thing, right? Or is he still on Hot 97? Or why did he just give it to Rosenberg in the morning? Rosenberg is dope. Just put the things around. He was already got it. He already had it. Why we just get set up the things around Rosenberg? Rosenberg was now. This is what I was saying. Look, this is why I was like, look, the Rosenberg's dope. When when this guy let's go back to this guy here. When this guy was saying no to the underground boom bap Griselda stuff, Rosenberg said yeah. Rosenberg kind of went on his a whole nother. I don't know what he went. I said I don't know if he got fired. I don't know if he left, but Rosenberg was on his own type of time, and he was dealing with the underground stuff directly. He was dealing with it so much. I think he still does it now. He was putting out tapes with all the dope underground. He was marketing it through the company and saying this is what he was. And he was putting them. He was interviewing them and everything. And the interviews were fire. Who did not listen to those interviews because you had the underground fans that knew who they were? It's a lot of us that know who Rome Streets is, that know who West Side Gun is, that know who Benny is, that know who Conway is, that know who I don't know. I'm about to say other names, but I don't want to throw names out there that he didn't interview. You feel what I'm saying? That knows that West Side Gun messed with wrestling, that understood why it made sense, why he said no. I don't like it. Rosenberg. So why not? Why Rosenberg didn't get the show? I didn't really tap into that, but why he didn't get the show? He should have got the show. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's it. Um, so far with Mero, I'm happy. I don't really know the newer. I seen some newer, younger people in the shout out to them for being able to get history going and history started on the radio and being a part of history and hope they bring something. Don't just bring y'all young sound. Bring some, think about the people again. That's what the problem was. See, I started with the Ed Lover and Dr. Dre and everybody else. They brought the people in. They added the people to it. Add the people back to it. Let the people be a part. Don't let's just have them call up there and talk lately. It's been like they call up there. Yeah, I'm smoking butter. Like, come on, let's get people up there that want to be that's knowledgeable about some hip hop, that know some stuff. You know, not just or ask questions or let's get it back to where we had it at. It never go back to my era. I'm not saying that, but radio. I mean that you could. Your radio is the place you can. TV and radio is the only places, and movies too, but TV and radio one are the two places that you can keep doing something that's old and keep like they had 5 records. We listened to them, and I didn't hear nobody complain ever. I never heard nobody say Hot 97 is. I don't know what was going on. That was summertime. That was like 21, 22, 23, like something after the COVID, before the COVID. I don't know, but yeah, but a little bit before the COVID. But I don't know what that was. So if I could do that, then this might as well come back, bring back 50, bring back the stuff, bring the new stuff, bring the old stuff, put it everything in one pot and let it boil and let the people pick the stuff. They pick out the chicken or the biscuits or the potato. Let them pick it all out and figure it all out. All right. All right, I gotta get out of here, man. Listen, World's Strongest Hustler, King Bumpervelly Johnson. I really appreciate y'all listening. If y'all watching the podcast or whatever, watching my streams, I check out my stuff. You understand? They're gonna try to steal my story. Watch, but they're not gonna be able to tell it how I told it. Radio is so. I'm not gonna lie to you. Radio with the new artists now, with guys like the Griseldas, because when he wasn't playing it right, it didn't hurt them because they were already popping. It's just it'd be nice if you would play these records. It'd be dope if you play the underground stuff that's happening. It'd be fire that you usher that new lane in to the mainstream a little bit. You know what I'm saying? To see if they rock with it and add it to the list of things to listen to because we're already listening to it. All you had to do was just put the stamp, Ebro, and say, "Hey, brother, this is yo." I don't really because there's a lot of stuff we don't like that you played and you forced us to listen to 5 records. You can't play some Griselda, but it's all right though. They was already popping without radio. We already found out the core fans already knew they didn't need radio. He already had 2 trucks. West Side Gun already had 2 Porsche trucks without no radio, without no single. They don't have the single. I love it. I'm telling you, I still love that music. We don't need the single. Others, there's levels to the hip hop underground shit too now. But that one, the underground one, we the single is whatever the song we put out, it sound fire. We did a little clip for it, and niggas go, oh, that's hard, that's fire. Pause. We like that. That's the single. Kill everybody you to fabric on. Whoo! Hear the beat? Heard what he said? That's fire. That's the one. That's it. And then the EP drops. The end. The end. And he's not gonna drop that clip 50,000 times. He got other things to do. He still got to take pictures. He still got to do his other stuff. So we'll end up going back like, yo, that what you heard that West Side Gun joint was kind of crazy. You go back to the page, you go past the pictures, and now you're going back and you listening again like, yo, this is crazy. That's how they was popping. He ain't want to tap in. And then I'm about to tap out. World's Strongest Hustler, King Bubba Billy Johnson. I appreciate y'all, man, for taking the time to listen out to me. Because I can be anywhere in the world listening to all the other guys. I'm not saying nothing wrong with going to the nasty side and the upside, the downside. Just come down. Sometimes you got to come down for some air and talk to somebody who just little sounds a little bit logical. Somebody that's a little on point. Somebody that's not looking for the trouble. I know I want to do. You don't think I want to do numbers? You don't think I want to talk crazy? You don't think I have stuff in here where I'm like, I need to be in here talking crazy? They want to see this, and there's gonna be times I'm gonna be doing it, but I'm not leading with that. That's not how I'm leading. I'm in anti-hero mode. I don't know what to call it. I don't want to say pause. I'm in the middle or none of that shit, but I'm not tapping into the crap. I'm not. A lot of the guys that y'all don't like, I rock with. A lot of the guys, there's a lot of guys I don't rock with at all. Like I don't know nobody. I know a lot of people, but I don't know nobody. I don't owe nobody nothing. You know what I mean? I do what I do. I know what I like. And I know there's a lot of fans that like that and think like me. That's why I do what I'm doing. And I get on here and I still try to get on this platform. I'm gonna try to get on here a lot more. I'm not gonna just try to get on here Fridays and say I'm getting on here tomorrow. You're gonna see me on here tomorrow. I'm gonna be doing a lot of stuff. I'm gonna be trying to do stuff. Shout out to everybody who watched the shorts and check out the shorts and they like that stuff. I appreciate y'all for liking that. I'm out of here. World's Strongest Hustler, man. I hope I hope I gave enough knowledge and I hope I said the right things. African Bambaataa had a show. I remember it hit me just like lightning. Africa Bambaataa had a show. Yes, he did. Africa Bambaataa had a show on Hot 97. I think it was called Zulu something. Zulu Nation. It was something with the Zulu. He had a show. He had a show. And I don't know if they was talking about history. I don't remember what they were doing. That's why when I heard some of this, when I hear the stories, I'd be like, dang. I can't even tell a dope story. My mom said I ain't even going to. Damn. World's Strongest Hustler, I'm out. I'm going to holla at y'all, man. Tap in. Even if y'all didn't tap in. Get the chance. When you get the chance, tap in. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm about to be relentless. Foot on the neck. I'm about to be on my stuff. They go that way. I go this way. Feel what I'm saying? Bang, bang. I'm shooting through stuff. I'm not. Y'all do that. I'm going to just shoot through all that. And I'm going to come right here where you could be. Well, I want rappers, if you're going to tap into the side, I don't know. I told you I'm not on the side. I'm here. Bang Bang TV. We've been. I'm authentic. A lot of people know who I am. Like I know a lot of rappers. I know a lot of people. I'm authentic. People know I do this for the culture. I'm not doing this for the views. I want views too. You think I don't want views? But I'm not gonna talk crazy about it just to get the views. I'm not gonna rile it up because everybody. I'm not doing that. There's gonna be controversial stuff on here, but I'm not doing that. I'm gonna do what I do. I'm gonna do it how I do it. Bang Bang TV. We'll be back. All right, we'll be back. You know what I'm saying? Tap in, lock in. I appreciate y'all for watching. Go to the page, tap in, watch some stuff, check out some stuff. I'm gonna try to have. I got documentaries coming. I got a lot of stuff coming. You see, I got a web series. It's called The Top of New York. Go check that out if you're into web series. Shout out to my guy Gat Murder too. Go check The Top of New York out though on my page right now. Bang Bang TV. You can check out my music. I'm an artist as well. I do my thing. I'm nice. I'm pretty okay. I'm all right. I've been doing this for a long time. I'm pretty all right. That's what had me outside talking to rappers. I didn't meet rappers like on some interview shit. I met rappers rapping, spitting bars. Then it changed. But that's a whole nother story. I'm going to see y'all guys another time. History of hip hop by the world's strongest hustler. What do you think? What do y'all think? I hope I didn't. I know I jumped around, but I know I gave you a lot of stuff. Take it and pick it as you choose. Look it up. You can Google this stuff. This is stuff you can Google. This is all public. A lot of stuff that I'm saying might be public record. So look it up. All right. We out of here, man. We gonna see you later. We love y'all, man. We just want to make sure that I want to make sure that if I'm gonna be a part of the culture, I ain't got time. Listen, I already been through my era of rappers and fighting rappers and bar fights. And I've been through all that sucker stuff. Right now, I'm just about trying to win. But I want my culture to be respected because when we doing some of the stuff we do, you have to remember that we have new people coming up in the culture, young people, not just the young people. We have people from other countries and worlds who want to know what's going on. And when they're tapping into New York hip hop or they tapping in, they're like, they're fighting? What's going on? Like they know, they be knowing, but it looks crazy. Let's bring it back. Let's tell some stories. Let them get to hear the stuff they want to hear. Because everybody like, I wouldn't hear that. It's not always about us. You never know. You know what I'm saying? All right. World's strongest.